Hello everyone and welcome to our track guide for this week. This week we're at the Milwaukee Mile. Milwaukee Mile first opened in 1903. It's older than Indianapolis, and it's a very tough challenge. It's a very difficult track to drive. It almost drives like a road course. So we're going to take a couple laps here with Matt on board. You can see he gets a little bit loose going into turn 1 there. We are required to run single plane wings on short tracks, therefore there's going to be a lot less downforce in the corners. Heading towards turn 3 now, Matt's going to bring it down gently. But he applies the throttle a little too quickly and gets tight off the corner. So not the best launch off the corner. You want to be careful not to overdrive the car. If you do drive it too deep into the corner, you will lose time by getting too tight. Here Matt's got a pretty good balance here and gets a nice launch off of turn 2. Heading for turn 3 again. One thing you'll notice is sometimes we may downshift into third gear, especially on worn tires. Obviously this will only be the case if your car is set up to do so. Towards turn 1 again, nice entry, there's third gear. Through a full fuel run you will lose time, there will be tire degradation and fall off, therefore slower cornering speeds, therefore third gear is going to get you a good launch out of the corners. And through turns 3 and 4, Matt's coming upon some traffic. Hey, who is that? Wonder who that is. Throughout the race run you'll likely be in traffic most of the time, so we'll cover that and some other things in our quick tips. At 1 mile in length, you'll be driving in traffic and behind other cars for most of the race unless you are the leader, and even then, you'll eventually have to deal with lap traffic. It will be very difficult to follow and keep pace with a car in front of you due to aero push. Your finishing position is more likely going to be dictated by pit sequences and strategy calls, which we will discuss later on in this video. Otherwise, to manage behavior of the car in traffic, remember to use your in-car tools. Positive weight jack will help loosen the car behind traffic, but be careful not to use it too aggressively. A softer front bar can also be beneficial. If you do have a gap of clean air in front of you, focus on driving consistent laps with a good line. Even one car width off the apex, as you just saw there at Milwaukee, can add tenths to your lap time. On corner exits, wait for your tires to hook up, and then get on the throttle as soon as you can. Be careful not to touch the curbs, especially in 3 and 4, but it can also happen in turn 1 and 2, where if you hit the curbs, you might spin your car. Luckily, Matt recovers here. We also want to keep in mind that for starts and restarts, the tires are not going to be up to temperature, and there's going to be a lack of front end grip. Here I try and get on the throttle way too early and hit the wall as a result. Normally at most ovals for the IndyCar, I would recommend finding clean air whenever possible. However, Milwaukee is an exception. At Milwaukee, you want to run the bottom because 1, it's less bumpy than the middle and high lane, and 2, there's far more grip on the bottom. Even running in traffic and dirty air, you're going to be faster than if you're trying to run the high side. So if you're fortunate enough to have a passing opportunity, the low side is going to be where it's going to happen most of the time. Most of the grip is there. It's pretty straightforward. Pull alongside the other car, hold the bottom, and the car eventually on the outside is going to have to lift due to the lack of grip. So if we can't pass on the track, we can make passes through pit strategy. So one option that we have is an undercut. Of course, an undercut, we come in for the pits early, take fresh tires, and try and make up the difference on those fresh tires. We could also try an overcut, where if we can keep clean air in front of us, even on older tires, perhaps we can maintain a gap. And with that, that's our basic track guide for the Milwaukee Mile. If you'd like to read more information about the Milwaukee Mile this week on iRacing and the IndyCar, check below in the description for a link to the iRacing weekly forum thread, as well as an invite link to the IndyCar community Discord.